sweetness of speech. If you have shamed your husband in what you have said to or about him, or in your attitude toward him, God is faithful to offer a cure. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up bones. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 24. Sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 21. Righteous lips. Is there anyone who doesn't appreciate a kind word? Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and he who speaks right is loved. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 13. Speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody with your heart to the Lord. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 19. Do away with childish things. Have you matured? Are you still a child who says things that hurt others? One of the biggest lies we learned as children was, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We probably still have not recovered from some of the words spoken to us when we were children. When I was a child, I used to speak as a child, think as a child, reason as a child. When I became a man, I did away with childish things. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. Arguments and strife are not good for any marriage. Abandon the quarrel. The definition of strife is a prolonged struggle for power or superiority. Better is a dry morsel and quietness with it than a house full of feasting with strife. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 1. A house that has loud and unruly children is anything but quiet. Be sure your children are quiet and under your control. See lesson 14, your mother's teachings. The beginning of strife is like letting out water, so abandon the quarrel before it breaks out. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 14. A fool's lips bring strife, and his mouth calls for blows. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 6. Are you well content? Therefore, I am well content with weaknesses, with insults, with distresses, with persecutions, with difficulties, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 10. This verse seems so incredibly unattainable, but it is something we must strive toward. Let's move through some other verses along with these practical applications. Rejoice always. The first step to victory is to thank the Lord for every adversity. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Philippians chapter 4, verse 4. Keep thanking Him either in your mind or out loud, depending on the circumstances. Offended. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a castle. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 19. Please don't allow yourself to become offended by something that is said to you or how it is said. Instead, listen with an open heart. Don't answer before you hear. He who gives an answer before he hears, it is folly and shame to him. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 13. When you interrupt someone who is speaking to you, tempers usually rise. Again, listen to those who take the time to speak to you, always listening for the truth. The truth shall make you free. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John chapter 8, verse 32. Sometimes it is difficult to admit the truth to ourselves and especially to someone else. But once you try it, you will agree that it is the most freeing experience on earth. Don't fear speaking the truth about yourself. Just do it.